will tell you that I kind of don't know what to do, because this really blows me away, right? And believe me, I am not against business and people working for their livelihoods. Okay, I embrace these folks that are working. The part that I don't get, the part that drives me crazy, is these dump trucks right here. And there's a lot of them that come through here right now. Obviously they're working, which is cool, but the problem is they drive really slow in this area, right? In their work zone. Okay, they drive really slow in their work zone, but there's no kids in there, right? There's no kids in this work zone. But once they hit the street, with a kid that there's two kids that live there. There's a couple kids that live over there. There's 2 kids that live in this house, okay? And there's 2 kids that live in my house. And these are all young kids, by the way. All in elementary. So there's probably a good 9 kids that live here. But when these trucks go into their work zone, they drive super slow. Right? They drive super slow. But when they get on a street that's packed with kids, they start driving really fast. Matter of fact, over the last couple of months, I say in the last 2 months, they've written probably close to 20 tickets already. And we've reached out to the county commissioner's office. We've been reaching out in constant contact with the sheriff's department. So the sheriff's department knows they're the ones that've been coming out here trying to help. So hey, shout out to Fort Bend Sheriff's Department for coming out here and attempting to regulate the speed and the stop sign that they keep running over here, right? But you can see how slow they're driving right now, right? They're driving super slow right now, which is crazy because you can't run over anybody over there. Everybody over there is adults. They're all adults over there, and they're not going to jump out in front of the moving truck. I'd prefer them to drive fast in there instead of driving fast on our street where kids live and kids play and kind of do the entire deal. It's craziness what's happening. That these guys drive recklessly on the street where the kids play, but they just it drives me crazy. It's not even for me. They're not gonna run me over. They're not gonna run over the parents. We got enough sense to not jump out in front of the truck. You know what I mean? We got enough sense not to jump out in front of there. But you got to remember, that truck right there is carrying 80,000 pounds. 80,000 pounds. So in the event that they need to stop, what would happen? If a kid ran out, right? A kid ran out, and this is the boss. You see that guy right there? I've spoken to that guy saying, hey, can we slow down the trucks? And he told my wife and I that we better shut up or he'll block our driveway. He'll block our driveway. That was his response when we asked him to slow down the dump trucks. He says, I don't drive. These guys are their own operator, right? And so these guys don't speed on his property, but I guess he can't talk to these guys about slowing down on the main road. right? Where kids actually play, which drives, that has really pushed my buttons. It really has pushed my buttons to the point where it's like, dude, slow down. Have these trucks slow down. They're carrying 80,000 pounds. You don't drive that fast on your own property. Why would you drive that fast on this 100-yard street, neighborhood street? And why would you not stop at the stop sign? Well, you don't stop at the stop sign, just like this truck just did right now. He didn't even stop at the stop sign. So they're not stopping at the stop sign. They go too fast. The reason why they're not stopping at the stop sign is because they're going too fast coming up to the stop sign. And I get it. Look, everybody has to work. I'm not telling these guys to stop working. What I am telling these guys is they need to slow down on the main street, the street where kids play. And where the kids play is our biggest concern, our biggest safety concern. Again, these kids are in elementary. 80,000 pounds. 80,000 pounds going 30 miles, 40 miles an hour. How long, or what is the distance it's going to take these dump trucks to stop if a kid runs out in the middle of the road? Now, that road, the main road, okay, the main road where the kids live on and go out there and go hang out, 14 feet wide. It's 14 feet wide. So it's not very wide. It's good enough for about a vehicle and a half to be on that road. That's why when you notice, like, there's two dump trucks coming in and out, what happens is they have to stop because they have to let the other one go. But you see that guy? That guy right there is the guy that we spoken to, right? We spoke to this guy and said, hey, can you have these guys slow down? Can we well, you better stop talking to me because we're going to shut down your driveway. Unbelievable. And I will say, see this little ridge right here? This little ridge right here, this ridge where the car is, okay? Where the dump trucks are now dumping dirt. I called the county commissioner's office and I said, look, man, there's no safety gate. And right behind there was a 50-foot drop. And I've already chased kids off of that thing because if they fail, we wouldn't even find them. They were playing on the top of this ridge right over here. And right on the other side was a 50-foot drop. Now, they've started doing this. Now, the county commissioner's office didn't reply back to me. They didn't respond back to us, as the neighborhood, right? They didn't respond back to us saying, hey, what they did was probably call these folks and said, hey, you guys need to fix it. But really unacceptable, right? I mean, the county commissioner's office, they're elected officials. We're members of the community in this area. So, these elected officials should really work with us, talk to us, let us know what's going on, especially if we have a safety concern for our kids. The safety concern for our kids is my top priority. My kids live here. And really, for these guys, the county commissioner's office and these guys not to be communicating with the folks of the neighborhood, really unacceptable, especially when we have a major safety problem for kids. I said that this construction zone, this sand pit, should have the safety gate around the entire property for kids. Okay, you see where he's backing up right now? Okay, there's a 50-foot drop right there. There's no safety gate around the entire property. So if a kid happens to go over there and falls in, man, that's it for our kids. That's it. They're gonna be badly injured, possibly die, and the folks that we've worked with, the county commissioner's office, obviously we've been calling with the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department, says, hey, we need to call these elected officials, like the commissioner's office. We need to contact, the state senator and all these folks. So it's been a real challenge. I definitely ask you guys, get the word out. I created this YouTube channel and started recording all these dump trucks that are flying through here, that are not stopping at the stop sign. I've taken pictures of the sand pit and the non-safety that they're doing over here. Not only that, okay. Now I'm gonna get just a little, you can say petty, I guess, right? When these guys are driving through here, there's a whole lot of dust that gets kicked up. Obviously, they're picking up sand, right? They're picking up sand. And these trucks are driving 30, 40 miles an hour on this little road, which kicks up a lot of dust. It's probably worse than the Sahara dust that happens. It's worse than a Sahara dust. And, when the Sahara dust was here, there was air quality issues. And, the air quality issues. I've done a little bit of research, and from what I've found is that these guys are really supposed to have like a water truck that go over here, right? A water truck that comes on over here that sprays water down so all the dust doesn't kick up. Because if you look right behind these guys, these guys kick up a lot of dust. It's worse than the Saharan dust that comes, every year, or at least this year, where our air quality was really bad. And I definitely can tell. When I change out my air filter, it's every 14 days. Every 14 days I have to change out my air filter now because of all the dust that's getting kicked up. What does that do to all of our roofs out here? Our roofs ain't cheap to fix. Our roofs aren't, with all that dust coming up here, it only puts wear and tear on our roof, and we got to replace our roofs. But that's monetary, right? And obviously that hits my pocketbook, but the safety issue for our kids and the health issue for our kids, kicking up this much dust without a water truck spraying the water down. Kicking up this much dust because they're doing 40 miles an hour down this 14-foot wide neighborhood road. To be honest, I honestly don't know what to do. We'll continue to make phone calls. We'll continue to call the sheriff's department. We'll continue to do all the things that we need to do. We'll reach out to the senator or senators. We'll reach out to the county commissioner. We'll reach out to the mayor. We'll continue to reach out to all these folks. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer that all this could really be handled with making an exit out the back. There's power lines over there, and there's already an access road behind this property. If they simply exited out the back and went out this way, they would go out to the main road. They'd go out to the main road, and that main road is 50 miles an hour. Real simple solution, right? Real simple solution. They'd go out the back, go out this way, and then, smash on the gas. Do 50 miles an hour. Get onto the main road, do 50 miles an hour, and get to your location. Instead, they want to come through the neighborhood. Not stop at the stop sign, kick up a bunch of dust, threaten our neighborhoods about closing down our driveways, threaten us that we should be watching our kids out in the street, threaten us that that he owns this property and we need to shut up. Just the continuous banter that we hear is really just unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the point where it's like, get your act together, man. I'm not complaining for me. I'm complaining for the kids. I'm complaining for the kids. the kids don't have a voice right now. A little 3-year-old girl does not have a voice. A little 4-year-old girl don't have a voice. A 5-year-old boy don't have a voice. An 8-year-old boy don't have a voice. A 9-year-old boy doesn't have a voice. I'll be that voice if I need to. But I really hope that our elected officials does something about this. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that the elected officials would even allow this to happen, especially if there's a exit, a way to get away from the neighborhood. I want you to think about this. If you live in a neighborhood, a traditional neighborhood, how would you feel if there was dump trucks doing 30 and 40 miles an hour, not obeying the traffic signs? How would you feel? How would you feel about that? How would you feel if they were running through your neighborhood day in and day out, right? Day in and day out, and not really care about your kids, and just continue to kick up dust, let these people speed. You see that guy right there? That guy can simply talk to the drivers and say, hey man, slow down a little bit. Just slow down. We want you to slow down because there's kids that live in this neighborhood. Obviously, they're going to listen to him. He's the landowner. See? He's giving dirt away over here because I guess he's trying to connect with one of the new neighbors over here. They just bought a house, so I guess they're trying to connect. He's trying to be friendly right now. Trying to be friendly. Hey, I got some dirt. Let me go ahead and drop some dirt. I'll spread it out for you. Hey, look, this is the deal. It doesn't subtract the fact that we have kids in our neighborhood. It doesn't subtract the fact that when you do 30 and 40 miles an hour down the street and you don't stop at the stop signs and you have total disregard for everything that the people living here have, it's really unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, again, subscribe to this channel, share it, post it. Let's get the word out. Again, this is Fort Bend County, okay? Fort Bend County. We got dump trucks that are out here doing a bunch of stuff over here that are just continuing to drop a whole lot of dust, that continue to speed down our roads, that continue to violate our children's safety. Again, if this was happening in a traditional neighborhood, would they allow this to happen? And the answer is no. And they shouldn't allow this to happen to our kids in our neighborhood. That's not what it's about. It's about keeping our kids safe. No safety gate. How's that keeping our kids safe? Speeding down the road where the kids live. How is that safe? Kicking up dust because they're driving so fast. How is that safe for our kids? We want our kids to live in a conducive environment. We want our kids to live in an environment where